Good morning. It's me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot, and we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see reflected back to us from the outside world. So I'm an hour-ish early this morning because I woke up at 4:30, and I'm just like bored. So I'm just like, I'm just going to start this reading earlier today. But like my room is still weirdly dark because the sun is still coming up. And so, whatever. You'll get to see the sunrise upon my face this morning. Lucky you. So, today we're going to go through the divine masculine side first. Remember that this is energy, not gender. It's the energy inside of yourself. So, you can associate it with somebody, but it's really just you. And you have to figure out when you're overlaying this pattern over someone, you have to figure out, how am I doing these things? Because really, this is your own energy. So let's take a look. Divine Masculine laid out all his cards today. Top of the deck, overall headspace, forefront of his mind, is the Page of Cups in reverse again. So this moved from the back of his mind to the forefront. Now he's thinking about this almost exclusively. And the Page of Cups, it's a beautiful, innocent card. It's about apologies. It's about heartfelt, heart-centered apologies. It's about true love. It's about being youthful, immature, naive. It's about being dreamy, very watery energy. And when we're seeing the imagery from this cosmic tarot deck that I was called to use this morning, it's again, I get this sense that the divine masculine has this feeling that divine feminine could just so easily cut him off. Like she has those hands up coyly under her chin, and she could just like cover up that cup if she wanted to and prevent him from sharing it with her, or from him pouring into her cup, or however you want to see that. So he's thinking about, he's worried, I think, about divine feminine maybe not being open to him. Just this, the rejection, fears of rejection this side of self has. It's just very prevalent. He also doesn't like his own immaturity. He's uncomfortable right now. He feels like he doesn't know what he's doing. And so he's feeling uncomfortable in that energy too. And he's wanting to be more developed and have like more confidence about this. So the niggling thing in the back of his mind is the Five of Cups. It's in reverse. In the Cosmic Tarot, we see a feminine energy that's very focused on the cups, and all of them have spilled. This is unusual. Typically, in Five of Cups imagery, 2 cups remain full and standing just out of sight. And the individual is focused on the 3 spilled cups and isn't necessarily aware of the 2 cups behind them. Or it can be about the optimism that while you may have experienced some loss, what remains is the 2 cups, that physical union that you're longing for. So divine masculine, the niggling thing in the back of his mind is that his divine feminine has good reason to withhold from him if she chooses to do so. He is really thinking a lot about the grief that he has put her through, the experiences that she has had to endure because of his own sadness, his own pessimism, his own negativity bias, the difficulty he had with being optimistic in the past. And so he kind of has this feeling of like, he's really worried about divine feminine really accepting his offer and sharing her cup with him, because of the amount of grief that he's caused, and because he feels that he doesn't really have a lot to justify this, but he's hoping for forgiveness. He doesn't know if she's really going to accept his apology because he doesn't know if he has a good enough excuse for the situation that he put her in. He is trying to remain optimistic, but he's definitely worried about it. This is what's making him nervous and scared and anxious about approaching Divine Feminine right now, because he's been ready to do it. He's had all the aces on his side for like weeks, withholding them. And this is why. But the first thing on his mind is this Hermit card in reverse. So he has been isolated. He's been soul searching. He's gone on that journey, and he's like, okay, I have to come out of isolation. Like, I can't be this hermit anymore, lost in this dream space that I've created as a, this really naive sort of fantasy of what it is that I want. I need to actually come out of isolation and stop being alone, because if I stay in isolation, I'm never going to experience this reunion, this Six of Cups that I'm longing to experience with this Divine Feminine energy coming back together with her. But we're also seeing Divine Masculine as he has gone into that Hermit energy. The thing that he has worked on is releasing the past, releasing the hold this past has over him. So it's not just about the reunion between the two of them, but it's about the reason that he's had to be on his own is because he had to do this work to release the past, not only emotions and feelings, worries, wounds associated with it, but also the individuals that he had attachments to in the past he had to release. The next thing up is the Prince of Wands, aka Knight of Wands. It's in its reversal because we're looking at that judgment of the self about the shadow traits of the Knight of Wands. What he's been working on releasing is his tendency to sabotage the reunion through these Knight of Wands type behaviors. Inconsistent, ineffective, right? Just coming in for a minute, being like, love you passionately, maybe having sexual energy, and then leaving and not sticking around. So Divine Masculine has been a hermit. He's been on his own. He's been in the hermit energy, reflecting upon the past, trying to release these past entanglements and trying to release the shadow traits associated with this energy of the Knight of Wands that have caused so much of these tower moments. The Knight of Wands is an instigator, not an initiator, right? An initiator initiates something and then stays around, right? That's going to be more of like the Knight of Swords energy. That's an initiator. They're going to come in, they're going to get something started, and then they're coming in with a plan and a strategy. They're coming in their integrity, they're coming in their honesty and their truth, and they're coming swiftly and taking action. The instigator is somebody who's just going to come in, stir the pot and leave. And sometimes because it's unconscious, but sometimes because it makes them feel alive, right? And they have to admit to themselves that for a long time, they lived in these tower moments. And and the tower moments were like a signal to them that like, things are going well. It's like having learned the opposite lesson. If the shit is hitting the fan, then something's happening. And there's this realization that's coming with maturity that like, actually, it's when things are peaceful and there's a sense of spiritual fulfillment and contentment that things are really happening then, right? And the tower moments that I used to think meant, the thrill of them kind of kept me alive or whatever, or I had something to like make art about. He's realizing, I don't have to live like that. I don't. And as long as I stay in this hermit energy, I cannot rebuild the tower. If I don't come out of the hermit energy, no amount of instigation from my Knight of Wands, like, I love you, I want to be with you, no amount of instigation is really going to do anything for me. Nothing's going to happen if I stay there. So he has to come out of this isolation. He's got to release his past entanglements and release his Knight of Wands traits and begin to rebuild this tower and to initiate the rebuilding instead of instigating another tower moment. There's only one way for Divine Masculine to reunite with Divine Feminine. He must reveal her, the star, right? This is Divine Masculine's, the center of his universe is the star, the Divine Feminine energy that has been doing this, taking the unconscious and pouring it into the material. And he has sought to keep this Divine Feminine hidden. He's been basically in denial. The longer he denies that this is what the center of his world is, the more tower moments that he had to endure. But these tower moments are in the past. They're not only is the card in reverse, it's in the past placement. The present is the star. The present is releasing the past and having his Divine Feminine energy fully revealed. So being honest with his feelings and emotions, being open, being heart-centered, healing himself. And the star is also about wishing, hoping, having hope. So he's hoping for that reunion as well. That has been delayed by the Knight of Wands behavior. The final thing in his mind is the Ten of Wands. So we have somebody who's under a lot of mental duress and has a lot of responsibilities and also wants to unburden himself, not only of the energy associated with this, the shadow traits of this Knight of Wands, but to communicate this to Divine Feminine, that his fears about her rejection, about how much grief he had caused her, made him isolate, delay this reunion between them, stay instead in the past and in fantasies about future memories, act a fool in this Knight of Wands, cause these tower moments, and neglect to do the thing that he should have done the whole time, which is just reveal the Divine Feminine energy and face the consequences of what that would look like when he revealed her. Because he's only partially revealed her right now in this really strange way. All right, so top of the deck, overall heart space for Divine Masculine is the Star. I already forgot. I used this card for the screenshot. And I already forgot that we have the duplicate of this card already in the reading. It's the Star card, and it's in reverse. Because the overall feeling of his heart space is he's afraid to reveal. He's afraid to reveal Divine Feminine still. That's why we're seeing this delay. That's why we're not seeing movement. That's why we're seeing him worried about her rejection. His headspace is like, no, you need to reveal Divine Feminine. You need to come out of this hidden energy. It is time. You have to do this. And his heart definitely believes that too, and has a fear. There's a fear about it. This is what he's afraid of. He's done this, but not quite. Didn't I just say he's done this only partially? Like he's only partially revealed what it is that he would like with this divine feminine to her and to the world, but not fully. The other meaning of this card when it's in reverse is that the wish that we see him making is now touching down to the earth. Now we're going to finally see the fulfillment of this wish come to pass. And he's keeping hope. He's remaining hopeful that he is going to be able to have this wish, but he is afraid. I sense a lot of fear there about this process of revealing divine feminine. The niggling feeling of his heart space is impatience. This temperance card in reverse. It's like, come on. What are you doing? Like, stop being afraid. This union is a protected union, right? This has angelic energy doing this healing behind the scenes for you, and you're afraid right now? This is major energy in your heart space too. This is the star and temperance, and it's all this divine feminine energy that you're still resisting, right? You're still, it's here, came out, didn't have to come out of the deck. Look at all these cards. Could have been any one of these cards. There's a lot of cards here, but these are the ones that are here. So there's this fear in the heart space. It's like, I can feel it, but like, I just need this to happen. I just need it to happen so that I know that it happened. I get it. First thing in his heart space is this 3 of Cups. 3 of Cups in reverse. And that is what is clarifying the Hermit energy in reverse. So divine masculine is feeling that he's been really too serious, like too heavy, too intense. His isolation, the amount of distance he's put between himself and the divine feminine, it's extreme. And his heart is just feeling like, you're so serious about this, bro. And like, there's also fears here and anxieties regarding third-party energy. As he comes out of isolation, now look at the star is what is leading the Hermit. We look at the Hermit. We cover up the picture of the Hermit. We look at the Hermit. We see the starlight, right? They actually do put the star right in here. And then they also show this lantern down here, and they show like little stars coming out of the lantern because you're meant to think about the star card. And then when you look at the imagery, this is a matched couple, right? Which is also very interesting. So divine masculine has been following this star secretly, alone, in his own little dream space, right? Inside, in his inner world, he has been following the light of this star. And he's been doing this in secret, hiding it from this third-party energy so that the third-party energy would not be able to identify who it is that the divine masculine is wanting to be with, his specific iteration. He's been hiding that from others. He doesn't want others to know. This is confirmed by the moon, which is another card about secrets and mysteries, hidden realms, the subconscious, and it's clarifying the 6 of Cups, which is about nostalgia and the past, and it's also got a dreaminess. It's the dreaminess of nostalgia, right? Being lost in the past. So he has kept his divine feminine, this inner world, this feminine energy, and a specific feminine, hidden, secret from a past energy, a past third-party energy. And he has also been doing this a long time, even while he was with the third party, which is what we saw the other day, where he's reflecting upon how divine feminine has actually been the third party. in a situation. The moon is also significant to this couple. It's about that 5D energy, and it's about that connection that they have. This Knight of Wands is being clarified by this Ace of Cups. So the cure from the heart space to this shadow energy associated with this Knight of Wands energy is self-care. The Ace of Cups, again, this came out yesterday a lot when I did my reading with Grace Strega on Instagram. If you missed it, it's available over on my Instagram Tuned In Tarot page. And I read with her every Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Coast time and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we do about a 30-minute check-in. She takes masculine, I take feminine. And then we do 30 minutes of answering questions. And the Ace of Cups was all over the place yesterday. Big, big, big image yesterday. And it came up also in the readings that I pre-recorded readings for tomorrow that are going to be coming out in the morning instead of the daily reading on Tuesdays. This pick a card reading is coming out. And it came up in those readings that I was doing yesterday. So this is a card, and those were all completely different decks. So this is something that is like a huge thing for the collective right now. And it's not a surprise because it's love and it's joy and it's nurturing from the divine, and it's self-care and it's self-love, and it is the balm to a wound inflicted by the Knight of Wands. Divine masculine has kept his love hidden, and he's only been able to express his love in this Knight of Wands way. Because he's been afraid that if he doesn't continue to withhold this Ace of Pentacles, fucking A, that it will cause another Tower moment in regards to this third party energy. That's why he's so serious. That's why he's not as lighthearted and as playful. Because it's been difficult for him to release this third party energy. That's another thing when the Tower is in reverse. That means you're having a hard time releasing. It's been difficult releasing himself from this other energy. And that is what has caused him to withhold. He's been so afraid that if he gives this material offer, it will really cause another Tower moment. Or he just hasn't really let go of this old energy enough to be able to be free. If we weren't convinced that this divine feminine energy was his divine feminine, then the High Priestess would help us to make sure we understood who his star is. This is the divine feminine. It is in the same row as the moon, which is the goddess of the moon. This individual is this individual. So divine feminine is at the center also of the spread. It's his current, it's his present. And he's trusting. He's trusting in divine feminine. He's trusting in his own intuition. And he's following his heart, right? That's who the Hermit followed. And when the Hermit comes out of isolation and soul searching, he follows that light out into the material. He wants divine feminine to trust him. But he has to explain to her why he withheld this offer. And this unburdening, this 10 of Wands, this completion, it's being clarified by the 4 of Cups in reverse, which is a grounding that is happening, coming out of dreams, coming out of the moon energy, coming out of reflecting upon the past, taking the cup, right? The Ace of Cups, this is in the same exact placement. Here's the cup. Actually taking it. 4 of Cups in reverse is I'm ready to unburden. I'm ready to put down this guilt, these feelings I've had. I'm ready to unburden myself and give this cup of love to Divine Feminine. I'm ready to stop withholding. I'm ready to trust myself. That's refreshing. Very refreshing. All right. Divine Feminine, let us take a look at you. Well, let's just say Divine Masculine is definitely being intuitive right now with some of the cards that he are in his headspace. He was already thinking that you're feeling. All right, Divine Feminine, top of the deck, overall headspace, forefront of your mind is the 7 of Cups in reverse. Yesterday in the Grace Draga reading, you got the 7 of Cups, which was talking to you about how you have a lot of options. Hey, Michelle, I see you there. And the thing that you're thinking of is you don't want other options. You just don't. You don't. You kind of don't care if you never have anything else. You're like, you know what? Fine. I'll just be alone forever because I don't want anyone else or anything else. Nothing but this will please me. Nothing but this will satisfy me. I choose this. The niggling thing, isn't that such an interesting counter to Divine Masculine's thinking? I don't know if Divine Feminine will choose me. I'm worried about rejection. I don't think that, I think she might try to like withhold her cup from me because I withheld my cup from her. And what if she's going to reflect that back upon me? And probably in the end, she really wouldn't want to be with me because of all the grief that I've caused her. But I don't know exactly how I'm going to approach her because of this fear that I have that she is just not going to want anything to do with me. Contrasting against Divine Feminine's overall headspace, which is there's no one and nothing I want more in this world than this Divine Masculine energy. And I don't care what has happened. I'm choosing this energy no matter what. And yet they cannot communicate this to each other somehow. It's very frustrating. The niggling thing in the back of Divine Feminine's mind that's underlying all of her decision making, all of her choices, all of her thoughts is the Ace of Pentacles. There it is. Divine Masculine has it. But he's not offering it. He's withholding it. This is abundance. This is nurturing. This is wealth. This is prosperity. This is material world, financial health and wellness. And it's also about getting an offer from someone, receiving an offer. Divine Feminine knows about this. She knows about that. She knows about that because she's got her own. So if she's got her own, she knows that there is one that matches it. And she's like, I'm going to choose my own pentacle. I'm going to choose my own coin. I can't force somebody to choose me. I don't want to. It's exhausting. It makes me want to cry that I even have to convince somebody. I don't have to convince anyone. I'm a queen. I choose myself. But I choose myself. I choose that other side of myself. And the other side of myself, it's not here yet. So the first thing on my mind is my sacred union is delayed. There's a commitment that's not being made. A material world manifestation of this sacred union that's already taken place inside of me because I already made my decision. I choose to be in union in myself. I choose to make my own offer. I refuse to accept disappointment in regards to this. Now, this is a card about marriage. It's a card about the twin flame union. In other images of the card, there's, a picture of a celebrating couple. It's also about celebration. I'm struck when I'm looking at this field image that it's a road, a path leading off into the distance to a future that we can't see. And divine feminine, it's the first thing on her mind, that she's chosen this path, but that means that she doesn't get the commitment because, as you can see, it's not being offered. So she's not going to lie. She's feeling a lot of disappointment because the person that she's chosen, or the manifestation that she's chosen, isn't ready, she thinks. Remember, we're looking at her headspace. What she doesn't know is the heart space of the divine masculine is ready. But what she sees is all that she can think about. And what she sees is that energy is not ready. But she is. So she's choosing to be optimistic even in this disappointment. Now, divine masculine knows that she's very disappointed. We are 4 cards in. That's 2 for 4. Matching up already. Divine masculine does know about this disappointment and this grief that he's caused her. That's what his worry is. His worry is that she's had too much grief. That you can't cause your soul too much grief. Like, your soul doesn't stop loving. So you can forgive. The forgiveness is limitless in unconditional love. It's like when people don't understand Catholicism and they, or the concept of reconciliation, where you go into you make a confession or whatever. The idea that you just get to, so you can do anything, and then you can just go to the confessional and just confess that and you're fine. And as a Catholic, you're like, yeah. And they're like, so you just do anything? So you could just go murder somebody and then just go and be like, I'm sorry, and you'd be fine. I was like, yeah. Anything. You could do anything? Yeah. Well, that's convenient. Then that means you can do all the shitty things you want and just go ask for forgiveness and you'll be forgiven. Yeah. That's infuriating for some people, but it's the way God works. That is love. Love doesn't hold grudges. It doesn't hate. Like, go read the Bible passage I don't have memorized, but love is kindness. Love is, never whatever. So I didn't bother to remember this one. Funny, I know the ones that are about like damnation and hell and burning and stuff. But yeah, you can ask forgiveness and you're forgiven under any circumstances for anything. So divine feminine is being optimistic, but she's not feeling overly brave. She's having to work up courage to face the truth. Because the truth is, she has to wait. If this is her choice, she has to wait. And she can't go back and forth anymore. That's the other thing. She's like, nah, we're not going to do the 2 of Swords. This is really difficult for me to face this truth. and I don't want to face it, but this choice means that I don't get to go like, okay, well, I'm just going to go on Tinder then. Or I'm just going to go see somebody else. Or I'm going to be attracted to this person. Or I'm going to try to make this happen. No. That's not that. If that is the cycle repeating over and over again. She doesn't want to do the cycle repeating over and over and over again. In her headspace, she's like, listen, if you want this offer, then you have to wait for it. But you're waiting for this King of Pentacles to show up. A specific iteration of the divine masculine that you do believe is your twin. And the outcome for you is the 10 of Cups. This is your spiritual fulfillment. This is what you're choosing in your headspace. You're choosing to wait for this divine masculine energy. And it's hard for you to face this truth about yourself because you, I think, don't necessarily want that to be true. You want to choose your spiritual fulfillment. But this Two of Swords didn't appear before the spiritual fulfillment. It appeared before this guy. So in your headspace, this guy, energy, not gender, this individual is your spiritual fulfillment. This is what you don't want to face about yourself. This is why you're so disappointed. Because no one can be your spiritual fulfillment but you. This is how it should happen, okay? Here's what the spread should look like, and we're going to switch it up for you. My sacred union is inside of myself. I've released all of my disappointment, sadness, and grief in regards to the Two of Cups, the physical union, because my sacred union happens inside of me. I can see very clearly, and I'm bravely looking at the path ahead of me. I'm determined to make a decision. This is the card that we like. In regards to my twin flame journey, that I shall choose my own spiritual fulfillment, which will then result in a physical manifestation of a divine masculine energy that matches me. That's what you should be thinking, divine feminine. So we'll just leave the cards in that order for you because I like that better for you. Let's look at your heart space. Because really, 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 oh my God, I'm looking at that and I'm just like, that is what I think. Fuck. If I think that this specific iteration is my 10 of Cups, I'll never have it. But you know what? Spirit just helped me out today. And I'm not going to think that anymore. And if I find myself thinking that, I'm going to be like, really? 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 I'm going to remember this moment. And there are two birds that just flew by to remind me. They were like really close to my window. I'm going to remember it. This guy is not my spiritual fulfillment. It's the outcome of my spiritual fulfillment. I do know that. Top of the deck, overall heart space, the Strength card from the Muse Tarot. And I don't think I've pulled this yet, and it's great. Look at that red dress. I remember when I was little and I saw the really weird version of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe that was like, I think it like had like a animatronic lion or whatever. And I remember being so jealous that those kids got to hang out with Aslan. And I was like, Aslan, like I want to hang out with him. So I love this card. It's got Aslan vibes. You're strong, Divine Feminine. You feel powerful right now. You feel in control of your pride and your ego. You feel like you're coming from a position of strength at the moment, and you're needing a lot of strength. And look who's here. Look who's here. The niggling feeling in the heart space. I'm not surprised. This guy. The King of Pentacles. Oh, hey. Just underlying all my feelings. The last thing on my mind. Well, I made it the last thing on my mind. He was the second to the last thing on my mind. Specific iteration on your mind and in your heart. But you feel the presence of this individual because the placement of this card was in the present, in the center. And so you feel his presence currently at the moment. First thing on your mind, clarifying the position of this Four of Wands, which, as you recall, was in reverse, although I shifted it for you because I'm nice like that. The Tower. So you're having to release your attachment to the time frame associated with the sacred union / marriage / celebration / coming together. It's like this tower always stands in the way. The tower causes you to go into these negative feelings, which cause you to push this away from you. And your heart space is aware that you must release your attachment to this. First of all, you must understand that it's already here in your heart space. It's not anywhere outside of you, it's within. Once you do that, the tower moments that keep making you understand that over and over and over again will stop happening. This is separation, 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 right? That's what this is. Separation. Separation is how you heal so that you can come together for sacred union. Separation is how you release the things that make you feel like shit. This Five of Cups. Clarified by the Four of Cups. Regressive. But where do we see the Four of Cups? Over here. In Divine Masculine's heart space. Because now we're getting into union. We're going to just basically see all the same cards over and over again. I love this Muse tarot image of the Four of Cups. When you read it, it talks about how this individual is looking at everyone else in the world. Everyone else has 4 cups, but why do I only have 3? And they are not understanding that they are within the cup. And then if you go even into a deeper layer, look at what the cup is made up of. These 2 aspects of self. I just kind of want to leave this here and like just stop talking. But alas, I'm a Leo and I'm going to keep talking. Lucky you. Also, if you just wanted to look at the cards, you could buy the deck and look at it. 4 of Cups, clarifying a 5 of Cups is very interesting. This is a meditation. This is grounding, contemplation, reflection, finding out that you are the cup. Not being aware of it, but finding out that you are. So it's like the cure for this disappointment has been understanding that you are the cup and that you were seeking the cup outside of yourself when all along you feel good within yourself, you're good. And you want something outside of yourself, it's just something you want. But you're still in a place where you're kind of coming to this understanding of this. You're still needing to meditate. You're still needing to connect and ground and find a way to fully understand this concept that you are the cup. Because once you do, you'll never have that disappointment again. It's like the card from the Archetype deck, the Thief card, which is like learning that what you have can't be stolen from you. That's how you're coming into your optimism, is just really understanding with a lot of reflection that No one can steal your cup. You are the cup. 9 of Cups, which came out yesterday. This is what you're having trouble with in terms of clarity. 9 of Cups, of course, is a wish fulfillment card, and when you see it, it means you're going to get your wish. And your wish is for the offer from an Ace of Pentacles. But what you're having trouble understanding is that you have been interpreting Divine Masculine's hoarding his feelings and emotions as Divine Masculine's problem. Kind of looks like your problem, though. And you're like, no. No, I'm so expressive. What do you mean? But you're just as obtuse. You really are. And you're like, but I have no other way. You do. But you're just as afraid. Oops, I dropped the 9 of Cups. Came out upright. Look at that. Now you're brave enough to have your wish, to have the fulfillment of your wish, to express yourself, to stop hoarding, to reveal these feelings that you have for this individual that's right below it because of where I put him, but I have to shift it back for the reading. Don't worry, you're going to go back there. Devil. The devil, again, but clarifying the 2 of Swords in reverse. So this is choosing not to be codependent, not to be constantly thinking about this one individual, not to be lost in obsession about this one specific thing. But it's also not about not going back and forth. It's about choosing not to be, I'm having crown chakra pressure all of a sudden. Choosing not to be lost in the egos, fears, anxieties. You're just like, I'm done with that. The only reason I stayed in this standstill, with my guard up, blindfolded, going within, not really expressing myself, because I was afraid if I did, then Divine Masculine would leave me and think I was crazy, and or I would cause all these tower moments, I'd cause all these problems. And so I just didn't do anything, and I just waited there until he did something because it's his turn. And that was, no. You didn't do anything because you were fucking afraid to do something. That's it. You were fucking terrified. You were scared. You were just scared. You're scared to lose this dude right here, right? And you're like, why? But you were. Because you're really attached. That's the 9 of Pentacles, right? Yeah, 9 of Pentacles. The Muse Tarot in reverse, clarifying the King of Pentacles. Because you were so attached to this individual. This is also you choosing not to be single, choosing not to be independent. You were afraid of being codependent, which made you codependent. Oh, it's so frustrating. But you're working to release the attachment. You are. You're really working. You're also worried about him not staying single. And the spiritual fulfillment is the Ace of Pentacles. But it's in reverse. The niggling thing in your head was upright. Wealth. In your heart, it's in reverse, clarifying your spiritual fulfillment. So your heart is like, oh, I'm thinking of that Bible passage that wherever your riches lie, that's where your heart will be also. Here's where your riches lie. And that's where your heart is also. Gotta fix it. Oh, I'm so frustrated that I still have to fix that, but you gotta fix it. Because it's gonna be really difficult to manifest in that energy because that's an attachment. But you know what you need to do. Let's look at the oracles for some help. First, let's go back to Divine Masculine side, see what he needs to do with his little self. Okay. Shadow attributes of the angel energy. Oh no. Acting innocent or angelic to mislead others. Wasn't me. I didn't do anything. Falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. I don't do that. You need to come into the light, which is helping those in need with no expectation of return. But I'm really drawn to the wasn't me. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. It wasn't me. Acting innocent when you're not. And you know you're not. And you feel shame because you're not just owning it. So come into the light of the angel energy. And also make sure when you are helping with no expectation of return. You're also in the shadow attributes of the poet, which is turning a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect and then acting innocent about it. You need to come into the light, which is expressing soul insights in symbolic language with no expectation of a return. That's a big thing. These two cards go together. You are acting like you don't realize that this lyric gift is negative or destructive. But because of your limitations, it's how you are expressing. You can express in symbolic language if that's what your limitation is, but you must do it with no expectation of a return. Saint Mother Teresa is here to help you in activism. It's time to take action. So she's supporting you in this. She was also a fierce advocate for the poor and those who couldn't help themselves, those that were completely helpless and had no voice. And she ministered to anyone. So just borrow some of that energy from her. You're getting this healing card in reverse. And I think that you have been doing this healing. This is kind of like the star card in reverse too, for me. You've experienced this healing energy, and you need to start now sharing that energy with others as a healer. To have this activism card. Now, not only did Mother Teresa minister, she ministered to the sick, right? The sick and the impoverished. She fed the hungry. And you're getting angel energy too, helping those in need with no expectation of return. I feel very strong. This is like a commanding energy that's like, it's time to take action. You're sitting on a lot of revelation and insight about this healing that you've experienced. And it's time for you now as a healer to really, really bring a powerful light into the world. Like Divine Feminine is doing her part. She's trying to reach as many as she can with these healing and loving messages. And you need to step up and match her in that star energy. In your own, you need to reveal the Divine Feminine inside of yourself that is the action that needs to happen. The moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. So if you're like, how? Just think, how can I love more right now? You're very close to achieving your goal, which in a Moonology to me, in a reversal, it means you have achieved your goal. You have. It's like you haven't even realized it yet, but you have achieved your goal. You're looking at your goal. You're like, I'm afraid Divine Feminine won't choose me. And she was like, 100% I choose you. You've already achieved your goal. Work through your fears. These conclusions are within your reach because you've achieved your goal. You're looking at it. You just saw it live on YouTube this morning as the sun rose. Transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. Got a healing card, and then you got a deep healing card. You've done your healing, Divine Masculine. You're still doing it. You're going to keep doing it. It's time for you to do it with others. You're getting the Watch and Wait card, which is like a hanged man energy. It's the seahorse spirit from the Colette Baron Reed deck. And it's very much about needing to gain a perspective on the situation. It's about, there's some kind of a drama, third party tower, blah, blah, blah. And it's not your business. You don't need to get involved in it. You don't need to be a part of it. Just kind of stay on the outside of it, do your own thing, and just like observe and just wait for the right moment. You'll gain the perspective that you need. All right, Divine Feminine. You're in the light attributes of the healer. And then Divine Masculine, all over Divine Masculine side, you're there as the healer, the star, the high priestess, the moon, and then the healing card, and the healer, and the healing. And I said Divine Feminine's doing her healing, and you. So Divine Feminine, you have a passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. That's by repairing your own, right? Your own Ace of Cups. That ace that we see in this Four of Cups image and the ace that we see on Divine Masculine side. You are your own cup. And because you know this, you have this ability to help transform pain into healing, which is amazing. Speak your truth. You need to speak. Somehow. Speak your truth. If you want to hear the truth, speak yours. Yesterday, there was like what was it in? Oh, maybe it's coming up in the reading that's coming up, but there was a command to tell the truth. So speak your truth. Lighten your load. This is the 10 of Wands energy in reverse. This is having a lot of responsibilities. This is needing to delegate some of the things that you have to deal with, some of the burdens you have right now. Saint Bernadette is there to support you in your ability to speak your truth, which is part of your healing practice. I see this as like being very open and expressing everything that you need to say, which is a part of this healing energy, which is how you're able to help transform pain into healing. And in order to do this, it's a huge responsibility. It's also about communication, completion, putting down that burden, right? We saw the 10 of Wands for divine masculine, that he's ready to unburden himself, which will be such a relief for everybody. You need to unburden yourself as well. You need to communicate open, let everything out as well, if you can do this somehow. Remember that obstacles are detours in the right direction. So when you are getting this tower, it's a detour in the direction where you want to go, which is down that road, right? Towards that sacred union. So don't chafe at these obstacles. Just know that they are leading you to the right place. What do you need to release? This is the Tower card from Moonology, basically. What do you need to release, Divine Feminine? We know what you need to release. We're looking right at it. I can feel your exhaustion. I know. Not looking forward to this. Don't let your past hold you back. Fiery climax approaches. Please, God, please let it be true. Let it be true. Can we just have a fiery climax? Just one motherfucking fiery climax before this. I can't. Don't worry, Divine Feminine, it's happening. Watch this Divine Feminine have a meltdown as these oracles come out. I'm like, God damn it! Is it happening? Is it happening, universe? Is it? I can remember my sister and I like getting this "it's all happening" concept probably like a good 5 years ago. And us saying like with that, you would say like you could hear the doubt in it, but be like, it's all happening. It's all happening. They're like towing my car away. It's all happening. I'm like homeless. It's all happening. And then this last year, realizing that when it's all happening, you don't go, it's all happening. When it's all happening, you're like, wait, it's all happening? This is it? Yeah, it's all happening. It's happening. Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, is seeding the light, laying foundations in divine plan. I just need to have a conversation about why this card is Anna. If somebody knows, because in my teachings as a good little Catholic girl, I learned it was Saint Anne with an E. And literally my middle name is Anne with an E. So I'm so confused. Or maybe Anne with no E. Maybe it was Anne with no E. Anyway, whatever. But the whole story of this card is when people say Immaculate Conception, I think people mistakenly think that concept from Catholicism is when the Holy Spirit formed Christ inside of Mary's womb. But it actually wasn't. The Immaculate Conception was when St. Anne's womb was prepared to receive Mary. Because for Christ to be born into the world, the human that brought him into the world had to be purified. So she had to be born into a pure womb. So that was the Immaculate Conception. It was actually Mary who was conceived by the Holy Spirit. And then again, Christ. So the Divine Feminine was the first to arrive. So the reason that we look at this card and we see this as this divine plan is that for Christ to be born, all of these generations before him had to exist. And so we're having this idea of how this light moves through us. And, DNA is light. So it's kind of just an interesting thing that the language and stories of the past were just sort of this simplistic way to pass on traditions and ideas of what was really happening, right? That there was some kind of divine orchestration, because you do pass through, this light passes through these many generations to bring you to this one moment. In any number of little deviations, it would never happen. So it's just keeping this in mind, Divine Feminine, that what you're chafing at, your timeline that's bothering you, or, you know, whatever it is you think should be happening and is not happening, it's part of a plan so massive that it started well over, you know, millennials ago. Like, I don't know, billions, millions, trillions, zillions. Like, what is time? And you're worried about how long it's going to take for you to, like, go on a date with this person? It's a tiny fraction of the experience of humanity that you're saying you want to be a part of and improve and be present for and try to heal. And yet you're all caught up about, he didn't call me. Yeah. The foundations are being laid for the things that you desire. That's also a Four of Wands energy, celebratory. I see like 4. Right? Soul family, call your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So you made a decision to wait, but you don't have to do it alone. And you can figure out what that means for you. Because that means something different for everyone. Maybe for some, that means you're going to be completely chaste. God bless you. Maybe for others, that means you're going to have casual, fun, interesting relationships with people. God bless you. Wherever you fall, in whatever category you fall in, that's up to you. And it's definitely something that you need to come to a comfortable place with, or you won't be able to endure the discomfort of waiting. So you have to make peace here. But regardless, call in the companions that you will want to have around you during this time that you wait. That could include, you know, our animal companions, our family members, our friends. But you don't have to be alone when you endure this. You're getting starfish spirit, which is open to infinite possibility, and you're getting the protection message. When cynicism says no, starfish spirit says yes 1,000 times over. Are you willing to entertain new possibilities? Are you limiting your goals in order to be realistic and cutting yourself off from the power of dreaming big? Let go of your rigid beliefs about what is possible for you, and let starfish spirit inspire you to open your heart and your eyes to what spirit has available to you. Now is the time to stretch beyond the familiar and unfurl yourself, for you are meant for more than you are imagining for yourself. Spirit wants the best for you and will support you in achieving whatever intention you hold dear. You are meant, Divine Feminine, for more than this. You are. This is great. This is fucking great. But you're meant for more. You're meant to have this and this. You're meant to have this, this, and this. And this, and this, and this, and this. So why do you want just that? Okay. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. The things that this couple is in union about. So the both of you are in the light attributes of the liberator, which is freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs and releasing negative thought patterns. I do see you doing that. It's wonderful. Good job. You're no longer imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate and ignoring legitimate constraints. You're freeing yourselves from your limiting beliefs. You're getting support in your child energy. So being like children, being playful. Also, your inner child wounds are really, they've been ministered to. And you're both in this healthy child energy which makes you very magnetic. You're getting the career card in reverse. You both retreat into your career. It's because you have a shared mission and it's a way that you connect to each other, but it's also a way that you distance yourself from being materially present together. And I'm not going to lie to you, I don't see this being a comfortable thing for you to navigate ever, because the pull of your career, of what it is that you're called to do, your mission, right? Your liberation and healing and uplifting and channeling, that is as strong and as powerful as the connection and pull towards your soulmate. And you will always feel a third party energy about it, like a jealousy about it. It will be something that will cause towers. You will be navigating it a lot. But if you can be very aware that this is something that you do and not have shame and just kind of have openness about it, and, you know, a willingness to, I think, allow each other some breathing room about this, you will be able to move through this energy much more efficiently, with much more compassion for one another. But you often offer the excuse of your career as the reason that you're not together. And if you do that, you will have a resentment. And you want to have a shared goal so that you can not feel that this comes between the two of you. It's a strong message I'm getting. Through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. You both got 4 of Cups energy. I feel a lot of crown pressure. So there's such a strong desire to come into alignment right now. And through prayer and meditation, it's funny. It's like, I wonder if you've even asked in your prayers recently. Just both of you prayed and asked, please, can we come together today? Because if you ask for it, it's given. Be bold and make the first move. So make some kind of a move. If you're waiting, if you're holding back something today, whatever it is, whatever way, do it. Be the one that makes the first move, and watch that energy be reflected back to you. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Well, it's calling you to make the first move. Divine Masculine, I think even the universe is impatient with you right now. Your soul is calling you to reveal what has been hidden, to ground the union and unburden yourself. Divine Feminine, your soul is calling you to release your attachment to a specific Divine Masculine, to find your spiritual fulfillment in your own abundance inside of yourself. So answer those calls. And then you're getting cow spirit. Ooh. So cute. The miracles are endless. I love this deck. Feels so drained. The oracle message is, you are at a beautiful point in your life today, for your needs are being met effortlessly and in so many ways. That is very true. Fully embrace this truth by focusing on all you have right now, including the positive relationships that sustain you. So let's do that. Let's right now focus on the positive relationships that sustain us right now. Just think of a few people in your life that come to mind. The work that you're proud to do to contribute to the world. Just think about that work you do. And if you have a job that you don't really like, think about what it is that you're doing, what service you're rendering in that job, and how you contribute to the world. Even if it's not something that resonates that much with you, you're filling some kind of a need. And then think about the activities that inspire you and nourish your soul that you have right now that you get to do. Netflix, YouTube readings, Instagram, music, books, right? Cow spirit nudges you to pay attention because this is the perfect time to focus on the choices, actions, and behaviors that you know feed your soul and bring your heart contentment. Now is also the time when you will see many of your projects and commitments that were set in motion in the past begin to yield valuable gifts that will bring you joy and love and sustain you for a long time to come. Stay positive and share your well-being with others. The more you share, the more you will manifest, so be generous. Cow spirit promises you will never run out of miracles. I love cow spirit. Cow spirit forever. Okay. All right. Let's get some advice for the day, just for today. What could we do to believe that the miracles are endless? Let's that. Or well, actually, maybe we should do the soul calling card. Let's see. It said, what's your soul calling you to do? So let's go today. What is our soul calling us to do for Divine Feminine? So this is going to close out the reading. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please click like, subscribe to my channel, share it, click the notification so you know when I'm going live, or you can follow me on Instagram because I do post something to let you know that that's happening today. I was able to do a time lapse with the songs that played, which for Divine Feminine was instrumental, and for Divine Masculine was Dogs, the Pink Floyd song Dogs. All right, and one message for Divine Masculine, please. These cards are not coming out very fast. Okay. Divine Feminine, your soul is calling you to Three of Swords. I guess this will be heal your heartache. Okay. that's you're like, no. Well, okay then. Sorry to tell you, but you got to heal something in the heartache. We had that disappointment card come up. The 5 of Cups, the sadness card. So the heartache that is there, the wounds that are there, those hard truths, that attachment. You know what? I want another card because I want help with what you should do about your heartache. Okay. Now you're getting the Seven of Swords. So the Three of Swords and the Seven of Swords, which is like obviously associating with third-party energy type of a deal. So I think you need to, I think the Three of Swords to me is about looking at those hard truths inside of self. And that's why it hurts. It's like somebody showed you where your wounds were. So your wounds are in regard to this trust about third party energy, something about that. Your trust issues in regards to this. Maybe find something you could listen to that would help you understand moving through those fears. Like look for a YouTube video on like healing after, somebody's cheated on you, or just look for something to deal specifically with that third party energy wound that you're fearing. However that applies to you. It's not going to necessarily be about cheating for everybody. For some people, it's going to be about career. The career card that was in reverse. Like, this person cheating on you with their career, like their excuse for everything. You're like, well, why don't you talk to me? And they're like, because of my career. And you're like, okay, well, that's fucked up. Right. So whatever that third party energy is, whatever is hidden that you feel you don't know that makes you think of where you are lacking, that's what you need to heal today and what you need to work on today. Divine Masculine, you need to balance your responsibilities. This is the Two of Pentacles. You need to balance your responsibilities with your heart. It's imbalanced. You're focusing too much on the material and not enough on the spiritual. You need to make a choice. You need to make a choice, because by not making a choice, you leave Divine Feminine here, which is what you are afraid will make her do this. So instead of prioritizing one thing over another, don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing. And that one thing should be what your heart's desire is. And I don't think your heart's desire is to just get your dick sucked by your money for the rest of your life. Maybe it is. I mean, cool for you if it is, because you got a lot of money. And the bottom of the deck for the whole union is today you must walk away from the things that do not serve you. So if today you are thinking about something that makes you feel bad, you need to walk away from it, because you know what? If you feel bad, that doesn't serve you. And you're like, but how? And you're like, well, just think of something funny or absurd. That's actually the best thing. It's like Harry Potter. How do you get rid of the boggart? Like ridiculous, right? You make it, you take your fear or your anxiety and you're just like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That's so fucking ridiculous. I can't even believe how dumb that is. You just reach for something that feels better. Usually laughing at something makes you feel better. And then you distract yourself. You think of something else. It is your job to do this all day, to walk away from what doesn't serve you all day long. If there's somebody cramping your style, walk away from that energy. And it is also the full moon. So this to me is about releasing. You might as well go ahead and do a really thorough full moon release and release all those things that do not serve you with some kind of a full moon release ritual. And you know what was right underneath that? The Nine of Cups. And right underneath that was the Two of Wands and the King of, like, we can just keep going all day. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that I gave you some useful messages that will help you today. I know I'm going to have to go back and watch this and get my own useful messages. I need them. Thank you so much. I will see you not tomorrow morning personally, although you will see me because there will be a pick a deck reading. It was a good one. There are 3 I recommend watching all of them. They were connected. Once I got to the last reading, I was like, this is for the same person. So you should probably just watch all 3, but you can pick a deck and see what state of energy you were in the most. That might be neat. I haven't been like, I'm going to have to ask my assistant to like timestamp because I keep telling myself I'm going to do it and I don't. And it's annoying for you. So I'm going to try to do this timestamp thing today. I'll try. Anyway, I'll do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do one thing that scares me today. Time stamping the choose a deck video. Anyway, so that will be solved for you tomorrow, probably. Very likely. There's a high likelihood because I am meeting with my assistant today. So there's a high chance it's going to happen today. And that's coming out tomorrow. But you will see me live again on Wednesday morning here on Tuned In Tarot. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop talking. It's almost an hour and a half. What is my problem? I'm lonely. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye.